Hello and welcome to episode 130 of Show and Tell with Tunes. And I am joined by, once again, Giggy Sam
Yo.
and his good main man and top compadre, Tyler.
Hello, universe.
Cheers to all.
We are all together once again for another week's worth of wonderful music. This week brought to you by the wonderful mind of Giggy Sam. So, we have opened up with Music is Worth Living For by Andrew WK. An amazing song from a fucking banging album.
Yeah.
Spoiler, it just miss out on the top 20, so you aren't going to get it there. But
it's okay.
Fucking awesome song, and as said, absolutely rager of an album. I didn't think he had it in him, seeing the fact, the only perfect album he had was I Get Wet.
That's such an amazing album. I love that one so much. And we were talking during the break, my favorite one that he did since then was the Gundam cover, Gundam Rocks, which is just all covers from the original Gundam anime from like the late 70s, early 80s. And this one, and it just seemed like such a perfect song to start the episode with, because it's such a music focused song, and he just can lay out a pop rockin' track, man.
Good energy.
Yeah.
And it is very much, if there was ever a theme for all of our combined musical sort of living shows and actually beings.
Yeah.
This is the fucking soundtrack.
I agree. Amen. Yeah.
Yep. It's same. Such a at
least for the three of us.
Just for like the year of music in general, it's such a nice affirmation of life and partying and music. And Andrew WK just continues to rock. And I don't know if you watched from earlier this year, E3, the Bethesda press conference.
I heard about
that, and they opened up like with Get Ready to Die, because he's like doing like the press for that for Rage 2, which is getting out, and the crowd is just so lost. It's not as bad as like the Gathering of the Juggalos.
There's like 10 people who are like, this is the best thing ever. And the rest are like,
he comes out on stage and everyone's just confused. And I'm just like me and him are watching this live, like on the live stream, and I'm like having a great time because it's in the middle of the night and just partying out.
Best thing ever, I was
there. And like the summer evening, and just like seeing Andrew WK coming on live for a video game press conference and doing Get Ready to Die was amazing. And just the reaction of the crowd is just
for me. I was like, I wish every press just could open with that, but that's just me.
But he just had one of those years where he just kept in like just the media circle or whatever, and just doing his thing, and which is just partying.
Didn't he he had a character in one game? There was something.
He plays a backpack in the new Rage 2 game that's coming out by Bethesda later next year, but or something like that.
There's like one conduit of connection there.
But like he's in the past, he's done things like going for the world record of drumming for the longest, or being an ambassador of partying.
I tuned into that.
I did too.
Amazing.
That was years ago.
It's actually an inspiration. Not only is it like a
but he just still does his thing, and like him coming out with an album like this is just so like I said, life affirming. And it
for me,
it is like there's so much to it. Like this, like I chose this song, but like there's other songs in this where like Devil on Your Side has such a like a nice twist and kind of just funny aside to it, or I Don't Know, and things like that, or Party Mindset, where he just keeps it to his original like I Get Wet album, where it's like a very focused party song, where this is the philosophy of party. But such a great deeper album.
There's even parts where this literally just what you would call it, I don't know, poetry, free poetry.
He would speaking parts of
introductions of positive
philosophy of party.
Amazing. I love
it. I would say I was wonderfully joyous enough to actually get to see him live earlier this year as he played Norwich, and it was so much fun.
He played such a good live show, especially with a live band.
It was like an hour and a half of just fucking wall to wall bangers, a smile from ear to ear, bouncing.
Yes. It's the best.
Everyone in there, because it was full in the waterfront, so it means there's like 700, 800 people in there.
Yeah.
Every single person had a fucking shit-eating grin on their face.
It's so good.
Bouncing.
We saw him, it's so good. Like, we saw him live doing a New
me.
Year's Eve one. He's doing a New Year's Eve in was it LA or San Francisco? I forget. It's California West Coast this year. But we saw him do a live New Year's Eve. Was it 2016?
It was
or 2017? I forget.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but he did, like, he counted down from 666 seconds to midnight on the ball drop.
No, like,
didn't skip a beat and came out and he played all of I Get Wet. So it started with It's Time to Party at the midnight ball drop all the way through, and then he played for another like 40 minutes after that like set, and it was amazing. Just an entire mind-blowing kind of just moment to the night. Yeah, he plays a great live show, and this album is definitely one of the best of the year.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. And I hear, Tyler, I know you met the man earlier this year too.
Yes, I did. I gave him 2 hugs, one for me and one for Giggy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
got
did,
a nice
he did,
video personal message and a signed
I brought this
copy of this album on CD.
I actually brought this up on my on my episode, Newbury Comics, which is a local kind of
so wish I could have gone to that.
Sort of like not primarily focused on music. It's sort of like a more local hot topic type thing.
Like, they have comics
for weirdos.
They have
stuff for weirdos.
Your pop vinyls, your obscure DVDs and Blu-rays, and a lot of music. Yeah.
And
like vinyl music, CDs, tapes.
And he did an in-house signing in Boston, and it was basically, the only premise is you gotta buy the album, which may have been within or without his control, but very laid back. Like, so the people were there were awesome, and just very laid back. I gave him my original noise tape, my first physical release, and we hugged and talked about stuff briefly. It pretty much could go anywhere. I said, like, my friends,
I totally appreciate that.
My friends who I went with, they run like an anime type.
Yeah, Boston Bastard Brigade. No like, Borders, No Race.
Other podcasting friends, and like one of them went up. It's like, would you be willing to just record a intro, like little plug? And he's like, Andrew was like, fuck yeah, man, of course, whatever you want. Like, welcome to the yada 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 podcast. Like, this is Andrew. It
just seems so genuine. It's amazing.
It's not a front. It's really, it's real. And I've touched. If you want to touch me, or second degrees, what is it, like the 9 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
6 degrees.
6 degrees. I'm 6 degrees of Andrew WK. So if you want to hug me, the energies and the love is real.
The party will flow through.
It will. It really is.
Through,
I'm not.
It transcends all.
I'm not joking.
Time and bounds. But yeah, do check out You Are Not Alone. It is just such a great album from this year.
That would be like my one. Just my review would be so bad if you could like type it up. I think it was like just one thing: necessary. That's it.
Very, very necessary.
Just one word.
And you are following that with The Pillows and Free Bee Honey.
This is a bit of a cheat, but it is from an album that came out this year. It is a remaster of the song "Free Bee Honey" from was it Penalty Life or Plenty Life?
Penalty Life. Yeah.
Penalty Life, the one where the cover where they're all like in
babies.
They're babies in the carriages or everything. Came out like in mid 2000s, right after. And this is kind of released because they did a sequel to Fooly Cooly, the anime that kind of made the Pillows popular in the States here.
Yeah, they basically, if you're not familiar, they were like the soundtrack, which is unusual for, any sort of show or anime or anything to have like a house band essentially as
it kind of it's just so integral to
it worked
the style 100%. Of the show that this is an anime that came out in like the early 2000s in the US that it played on Adult Swim and just gained popularity there. This is like a key inspiration for you and Abstract Japan, because it's just like their music is just so just they played for so long, since like the 80s, and just have kept going. So they have done a sequel to the original anime series, Progressive and Alternative, and they also came to the US on tour. This is a release that is a lot of remastered tracks from the like earlier albums that are like part of the first Fooly Cooly, and also the recent seasons. They also have new tracks that came out. Spiky Seeds is on this, which was the end of Progressive. We still need to see Alternative, by the way. We need to watch that season. We
talk about that.
Kept that in the pocket. We need to get to that at some point. But we saw them live, and all these tracks off of this, the Fool on Cool Generation, are all remastered and done in like more like, I don't know, just they sound really different than the original tracks. And
to put it in perspective, like it's an original band and an original anime project. Like they're not
one and the same
products of each other, but they're
one
so
was an
amazing.
inspiration for the other, and they just kind of meshed together. And
actually, like the pillows rock so hard.
If they did a sequel to Fooly Cooly without the pillows, it just wouldn't be the same. It's just they're so integral to this anime. And if you've watched the show, you understand why.
They're equal. They could separately, talently exist independently, but because of this weird cosmic force, it's like
but
they're bound together and equally awesome.
And Freebie
with
Honey,
or without each other.
This song just has so much energy to
great
it.
Show.
They rock a great hard. Show. I really enjoyed the new season of the Progressive, even though it was kind of panned, but and it's very, it's not as good as the original show, but that's neither here nor there. The music in it is still the pillows, and it still just rocks so much. And seeing them live this year was so amazing. If you can get this album and listen to it, it's worth checking out, because it's a lot of greatest hits and some new stuff that is just remastered and produced so well. It's so crisp and clean. It's like rediscovering all these amazing tracks anew again.
Well, seeing the fact that to me this is a band I've never heard of. I know you
really should check out more of it,
because obviously I know Tyler had mentioned, I think when you saw him, you sort of bringing it up on the show. So I'm like, I definitely I have their stuff now, because obviously it's on my Spotify, so I know it's there. I'm definitely going to be giving it a bit more of a listen and sort of see what else there is. Now we are going into our next run. So we are opening the next run with Charles Bradley and Stay Away featuring the Martin Street Band. This is fucking good. I like this a lot.
This is a cover song of Nirvana off of Nevermind. So
that's why I knew it from somewhere.
And this is also a little bit of a cheat, because this is a song that also came out in 2011, but this album, Black Velvet, is a posthumous release for the artist. He passed away last year, complications to cancer, and he just has such an amazing voice. He's done covers of Black Sabbath songs. He's also done a Rodriguez cover from this album.
Kind of have to see him at least a little live. Like, this is a very sweaty singing type thing. You cannot imagine Charles Bradley without a beat of sweat just from the genuine soul singing.
He carries such a torch from like an era that is such bygone at this point, but it is like his vocal presence and just the way, like, you'll hear it in this cover that's coming up, that it just has just such a tone, and it brings it to like another level. It's like not quite like Jimi Hendrix doing like Along the Watchtower and bringing like that song to another level. Like he gets to that. He just gets to that, almost gets to that peak. And even like on this release, Black Velvet has some original releases and other things like that that were after he had passed away last year. And it's worth just going into this. to come, people will listen to some of
Hopefully.
his stuff and still carry that
surprised, like
with them.
I'm so, like when you introduced me to Charles Riley, I'm like, why have I not?
I mean, he's always been like this kind of background performer in his early life, and it was only in the early 2010s that he like kind of break out. And it's just so tragic that his life is just, you know, he wasn't young, he was, you know, in like his 70s, and but it's kind of like I'm blanking on the name, but you know, across from 110th Street. Shit. But anyway, I'm blanking on another artist name who passed away recently as well too, and I'll think about it and probably when I check it out in the next break. But it's just so tragic. Like he's getting his voice and his like recognition, and then you know it's just the spirit is willing, but the body is weak, and I just hope people just still take from this. And it kind of like reminds me of like Baby Huey and the Babysitters, that kind of very strong presence of solo voice. But do check out this one. Stay Away is a cover from a Nirvana song that he really owns it on this one too.
And he didn't even know it, maybe.
So the next one, I have lots of feels for this, is Sam Moss and Rust. This is just really awesome, easy listening sort of soulfulness, and I'm like, yes,
he is a folk singer from Vermont, and kind of recently taken a resonance kind of like in the Boston, Cambridge area too now, but
sweet.
Very New Englandish.
So are very new to me. So
I'm
excited to hear these.
Well, I found like I discovered this guy on like research like years and years ago when I did Shuffle podcast, and I did a Vermont kind of focused playlist. And been following ever since. And I think he did a pressing at the Burlington Press vinyl records where Adam works, and I bought his record. This is one of my favorite records. It's from Neon, and it's very kind of quiet, but also has this very like strong dissonance to it as well too. Like the like just the guitar like plucking in this song has like some very intricate moments to it.
Do you know who this reminds me a lot of? Is Sam Cooke from like the 60s. It's got that soulful sort of really, really nice just warmth to it.
Yeah, Giggy knows a lot of good like kind of retro warm type bands,
and this that came out this year, it just has such a wintry feel to it as well.
I mean, look at the guy. I'm just looking at a little preview of the cover. It's almost perfect.
And I don't know, it's just I really like when I heard he was coming out with like a full length like this year with the just hearing some of the songs on like Flowers and things like that. It's just I don't know, it's just it spoke to me, and it's very New England kind of feeling as well too.
Put it this way, this is definitely one for the save to play later ones, because I definitely like this. And then you are following it up with Halfway Place and No Drug DJ. Again, very different to the last few, but again, very cool.
This one's a little hard to explain because it comes like it's one half of a band that I've followed for a long time. I Come to Shanghai, which is kind of known in a lot of gaming circles because the one half of the band is Robert Ashley, who used to write for 1UP and did a couple of podcasts called The Life Well Wasted, which was very, very influential to a lot of people. And he had a side band called I Come to Shanghai. And this is the other half of that band, who does kind of the production and electronic movements to the songs that they do. And this is a very just lo-fi electronic down-tempo kind of music. And I just know it came out because I follow the guy on Twitter, and it said like, oh, I'm doing a release, and I bought the tape, and it's so mellow and chill. And I really dug it. It's one of my good favorite releases of this year.
It is a really, really good thing. It was like, from what we've sort of had so far, it is very different, but that's the joy of sort of both of you when you come on.
You can play. You can find some of this stuff on like Spotify. Like I assume you found this one on Spotify.
Yeah, this was on Spotify. This self-titled.
Or Apple Music. I find a lot of this on Bandcamp as well too, which is kind of international, has an international presence, and there'll be more to come. But yeah, let's just get into this music, man.
All really good. So we have Charles Bradley, Sam Moss, and Halfway Places, and we'll be back shortly with some more. And we'll play.
You can say happy birthday to the papa. Come on, Maggie.
Stay Away has disappeared off the playlist.
Oh, no.
That makes me think I might have to check the recording, because...
I'll pause it. Let me know when you find it again.
There we go. I found it.
Found it?
Yep. There you go. Yeah, no, it's
3, 2, 1. You playing? Are you playing it? There we go. At least semi sync.
Come on, Maggie.
Really great.
Oh, yeah, I was going to play the Rodriguez one too. It was what was it? I think Slip Away. No, not Slip Away. Do you know Rodriguez, or have you seen the movie Searching for Sugar Man?
No.
Watch the documentary Searching for Sugar Man.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like on like a streaming service or something out in the UK, but it is. It's so good. It's just about this artist from Detroit that found no audience in the US in the 60s, but found a huge audience in apartheid South Africa, and was a huge voice to the Afrikaner movement that was against apartheid.
Yeah.
And he found out years later in like the 90s and early 2000s that he had like this huge audience while he was just working construction in Detroit.
Nice.
And there's like all these rumors of like, did he die and kill himself on stage, like self-immolation, or like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, sadly, one of those like folk legends who never got paid, you know. Never ever got recognized. Paid nothing.
Always
Bobby Womack. That's who I was thinking of for Charles Bradley. That reminds me of at 110th Street, you know, doing stuff with the Gorillas, and he did a release late in his life, but he passed away from Alzheimer's. Yeah. But this I love it. I love his voice.
See, this is the thing. It's like now listening to it again, I'm like, of course it's fucking Nirvana. It was one of those like,
right?
Lyrically,
but he makes it so different.
Yeah. Again, this one is another one that sounds like it could have just come out of like 50s, 60s soul music.
Check out his cover of "Changes" by Black Sabbath, because that is.
No, that's a good.
That is one that just cuts to the heart.
I'm not like a big covers guy, and that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I'll send you a link to a video where it's a live performance where he did, or in front of a live audience, and. But like that baby Huey and the Babysitters, he just has that. Even in his 70s, just was. I got so tore up when he passed away, because he was just reaching like something like recognition, and that's it. Just cut. Yeah,
I like that cover.
This whole playlist, I didn't even get into some of my favorite hip hop of the year. Like I was like thinking of like the Black Panther soundtrack, Pack Oxnard one I had that was great, and I just like completely blanked on that. And like I found out about Mass of the Fermenting Dregs that came out like this year that I completely missed and only found out like last week. But this I definitely had to remember because this is just a it's so nice.
Yeah, I really, really like this.
Haven't got to see him live. He's played a lot locally and places like it'd take me 40 minutes to go even like west to find him play at like a small lounge or something like that. But this I'll have to send you another one that you would probably dig. James Keys. I'll send you a zip file.
Cool.
Of some of his 3 albums. You will definitely dig him. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts. Okay. I've seen him live, and I did an interview with him as well too. But his stuff is really good too. Very folky and very country.
So you know, I do like my nice folky country quiet moments because it can't be aggro all the time.
Oh, I don't mind that, the aggro, at all. But yeah, this has something haunting to it as well too.
All right, back in a sec. My missus just messaged me saying she wants something, so back in a few.
Right on.
Oh.
Yeah, this whole thing is just has such a chill vibe to it. I Come to Shanghai is kind of the same thing. It's just like the backing is just think with vocals.
Okay. So this is very
Minecrafty.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's sort of like
C148.
That where you either sit there and just sort of zone in playing games, or it's the ambient music that you'd have on whilst getting wasted.
It's kind of a bit of both for me, but I just like I like these kind of lo-fi production ish kind of stuff. I don't know how else to explain it. Just it's especially listening to it on a cassette is just pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's like one of my mates does really fucking nasty death metal and sort of grindcore stuff, and he won't put it digital at all. There's no sort of MP3s or anything for it. The only way you can get it is on vinyl, so that's why I don't have any of it.
Wow.
But it's because he wants it to have that perfectness, if you know what I mean, that only vinyl can get.
Yeah. You should listen to there's an interview with I always forget the name, but one of the co-creators of My Bloody Valentine did with Bob Boilen of NPR All Songs Considered, and they talk about for a good hour about analog recording and proper vinyl and the difference between high quality audio versus digital high quality and things like that, and how much of a stickler they were for the new release of Loveless on a vinyl release, trying to get like the original tape masters and getting it right and correct. And yeah, this audio quality is weird, but
it's a thing that like either some people are like really panicky with the fact of it has to be either as clear as humanly possible, or it has to be perfect for their sound. As I said, the thing with my mate in his deathcore band, that it has to be, it has to sort of sound like it's recorded in a bin, and he will only have it with that imperfectness of vinyl. And it's just like, which is great unless you don't have any way of playing vinyl. So the only time I ever get to see it or hear the songs is live, which, you know, always good still. But the fact that he's just had a kid, he isn't going to be playing any gigs for the next sort of 6 to 8 months.
How's the wine?
That's good. She gets some before I drink it all.
I'm gonna get some quickly. So after I pause this, I'll be right back, and we can.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll wait till you get back anyway. So
mind pausing it, Tyler?
I did. Yeah, of course.
So wait for Giggy to get back, and then we'll go into the next lot.
Oh, yay.
And I might upset him a little bit because I really don't like Death Heaven.
No worries, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, but that's the whole point, you know. It's just one of those if I don't get them.
If everyone liked the same things, it'd be boring.
Exactly, and then we would have no reason to have a show because people would already know about it.
Exactly. We'd be robots.
Oh, for the next show, obviously I know I've got my mad capture markets in for 200.
Yeah.
You need to chuck something off the new Maximum the Hormone EP on the next show that you do.
True. Okay, sounds good. Yeah,
I've a Maximum 2, which is obviously the track 1 because I do like that a lot. Or anything that you want to chuck in, but definitely we need some.
Good. Yeah,
we haven't had any in a while.
It could be like a long half a day thing where I just play tunes all day. So we will see. I'm sure there'll be plenty of room for awesomeness.
I'm surprised that by the end of this, you're going to then sort of record one for yourself probably tonight.
I'm back, baby.
So we are back, and next, I'm gonna try this name, but I know I'm gonna butcher it. Huramura and Narashite.
Yeah, Narashite. This is a very it's definitely rooted in J-pop, but some of the album has a lot of like aggression to it as well. Okay. I guess I could describe it. I totally dig.
To me, so
yeah. I think you'll dig this. It's definitely a very
probably be my next playlist.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. I just came across this album this year and just is really dug it. It just has this like very J-pop aggression. I guess this is how I describe it. And it just has some amazing hooks, and
I like the cover.
It's pretty good.
Looking at it.
That's all I can say.
Which is awesome. You're following that with Death Heaven and Honeycomb. Yeah. I will say right now, I don't get the big thing about Death Heaven. It's never gripped me.
I see where you're coming from. It's got a very, very like heavy fan base. You know, people like worship
them when Road to Judah came out, and I just caught them on a whim and bought the vinyl.
Yeah, it's just like
Spot
for me, it didn't click. I love it. It's amazing, and they're amazing, but it wasn't the first band I had heard in that timeline that had done that type of thing. So I really feel bad for the other people who had been doing that type of thing.
There's been other, like American Cognitum does kind of a similar thing, and
exactly.
I still follow them. They're
studio
great.
artists who like one-man bands who have done similar type like effect and aesthetic, but it just happened to be like, I don't know, maybe the lead singer is cute. I don't know. It might have been one of those things.
But we've seen Deaf Heaven live, and my God, they are furious. You should check them out live and how they perform. They are. It is insane.
Yeah,
I think it might be one of those of after seeing them live, I might. Yeah. It might click. It could.
Did
just
this
be
song
one of those...
click for you?
It's
Honeycomb.
It's more like
it's all right.
It's like death metal and shoegaze stuff transcending. So that in itself, I admit it's not.
It can be an acquired taste.
So really,
it's one of those of this is all right, but it doesn't sort of grab me, and I haven't jumped on the hype train that is Deaf Heaven.
That's so good. Yeah, it works for me.
Maybe start from the beginning. Try Road to Judah. That is like it's short. It's like more of like an album length. This is admittedly my longest track in this whole set list. It comes in 11 minutes and 4 seconds, but hey, that's a Deaf Heaven track. But I like it. Just check out Road to Judah. That's like more of a more heavier thing, but yeah, just definitely their Sunbather, their second album, is
with Chad Massive.
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, I guess acquired taste, but I hope you enjoy this track.
And
for those who haven't, can ask for any.
And you're ending it up with just dirty horribleness, which I do like.
There we go. I'm glad you like this one.
This is
Sludge and Slave Goo World.
I love this.
This is just dirty, horrible, nasty.
I like it already.
Joy.
So much goodness on this album. This is one of those years where I'd never heard this band, and I just like got into it because of this album. And some of their earlier stuff might be a little better, but this like esoteric melancholy is just it has some weirdness. If I can just pull up some of the track lists on here just quickly, if I can find this, like it has just such a weirdness. Like some of these, like the opening song War Squids, and then Crop Killer after this song is like the Transylvania Fungus, and it's just this very, very sludge driven heavy metal, like death metal-ish. Just it's good. It's so
interesting
sludgy goodness.
I'm excited.
It is good and fun and
new to me.
We will not keep the people hanging on, so
we'll continue.
Harunomi, Deaf Heaven, and Sludge, and we'll be back very shortly with a little bit more. And we will be ready to play in 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
See, as a contrast, this into the rest of these two songs.
But it has a little bit of heaviness to it. That's what I was trying to go.
It does have a bit of heaviness, but there is quite a lot of saccharine in this.
It is, yes, because it's J-pop.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more heaviness to this album, especially some of the remixes that came.
And it's a Sunday. This it's gonna be on my next show for sure.
This is some pretty good mulled wine. Very cinnamony orange.
Like hot wine.
Hot wine.
It's like a big pot. There's like cinnamon and orange peels and shit.
See, you haven't had mulled wine until you've had it in Germany and had Glühwein.
Probably.
Which they also do Glühwein beer, which is warmed beer, and that is just as nice. I'm all in for that sort of thing.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I'm very amateur to the hot,
But it's like
based
thing.
But because it was like a very vanilla-y hot beer, so it was because obviously I do drink a lot of ales which are warm anyway, so it's just a little bit warmer than an ale, but with a nice sort of vanilla hit. It was just like, yes, this is the thing. But I suppose that's the only problem with you being out in the States. It's a bit more of a trek to go over to somewhere like Germany for a week than it is for us to just go
hop a train.
Yeah, we could do it on 2 trains.
2 trains, yes. So it's got a little bit more bite. Although if I had known Mass of the Fermented Dregs had a release this year, I probably would have put it here. But yeah, my best of the year list might be a little different when I send that in.
Hey, mine's pretty weird. It does go.
Like, I didn't play Your Name. That's definitely in my top. That's my favorite album of the year.
Yeah.
The You Drive. And the Giraffes is also up there. Just was too much. There's too much. And I was like, okay, I'll send a list. I get something.
But yeah, no, it's taking me pretty much all year because all 3 albums were all out by sort of May to pick my favorite album of the year, because it's been interchanging between Perfect Circle, Ghost, and Tragical History Tour all year. It's like I've finally sort of gone, no, I can't change it anymore. This is the set list.
Mm-hmm.
There's one album that literally came out last week that's jumped in and is sort of.
Acid Mother's Temple had a release right after I sent in the list, and I was like, God damn it. Son of a bitch. 28 Degrees Taurus had that snipe release.
Give me a drink.
Acid Mother's Tongue are playing Norwich again.
Yes, go see them.
Man, those guys
beginning of next year.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Go see them.
If anything, just like the power of those geezers touring, it's amazing.
I was gonna say they pretty much play Norwich every time they're in the UK. So
yeah, they know by now like which cities are like are hit or miss.
I was gonna say didn't see them last time because the other half was on a working, so I couldn't go. But I saw them. They played the Al.
Oh, really? Cool. Hell yeah!
And that was good.
Sweet.
There's like 150, 200 people in there. They're just like,
really? Yeah. It's more than fun. The ones I've seen. Yeah. I've done the full proper route on that. Saw Acid Mother's Temple on acid. Yep.
As you should.
I can say.
You saw those colors.
I saw everything.
Because that's definitely one of those things for the music becoming visual colors.
They're so good. No, they're just like, regardless of all that tour masters, like I can only imagine like what their lifestyle is. It's much be so routine.
Do you need one?
Yeah. Like they tour. I can only imagine like being so weird of a band and touring so much and being so routine though. It's like, you know what you want for breakfast and lunch and dinner,
Yeah.
All in a day's work, my friend. Just likewise with me, like I have trouble associating with what other people like. What is normal? Like,
what is normal? Can we open it?
Sure. Thank you.
I love this shit so much.
It's recorded on tape.
Like, you need to see the drumming live. It is something fucking else.
It is some really fucking intense blast beats. I do enjoy a good blast.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, the lyrics are melancholy, but the tone of the music is so uplifting at times too. I don't know if you'd be a fan of it, but Astronoid is a local band that has this same kind of energy, but doesn't have the screaming vocals. It's very more straight. It's different, but it's kind of the same vibes.
I'm always interested in listening to new stuff that I haven't heard before, so let's see if I can find anything. Wait, no, go on.
Have you listened to much of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
No, but I like that name.
You should check out King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I'll send you something that you might enjoy. Let's see if I can find it quickly here.
I'm trying to think who that weird band that had the awesome name was that I had earlier on in the year. Was
if you can view that album or find it on Spotify, play that album. It's a fucking great one.
There we go. I have. I shall just save that link.
But should be asterisk. Not it's funny. We're like, me and Giggy have very, very similar tastes, but not King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Not my thing. I don't know.
You don't like it? I don't get it, man. That's so good.
That's what I was saying.
I think you might like it. It's definitely got more of like a country jazz.
If we liked all the same things, like there'd be no reason for any of this.
Exactly.
Like,
man, I can't believe you don't like that King Gizzard and the Wizard.
I don't know. It's a weird the way, but I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's like I dig it. I would have fun at a show, but it's not like I don't know.
Might be too nerdy.
I don't know. To each their own.
That's fair. Yeah, we've seen Deaf Heaven like what, twice? We saw him once. What, TT the Bears, and then that free show at the Sinclair.
Saw him once.
Twice. Definitely saw him twice. At TT the Bears one was great. And so was that the free one that we got to go see.
Yes, Rebel Wizard was the one I was on about that has like the weird, wonderfully random song titles. Like Drunk on the Wisdom of Unicorn Seaman. It's just like just shoegazy death metal, but also just like really proggy as well. I'm just like, I like this.
They definitely have a prog shoegaze kind of hook to them, but there are like stretches of their albums where it's like nothing but just random ass noise. But I kind of dig that. It's just one of those, like, as a whole, you just gotta listen to the whole album. If you have the time for that or not, that's just, it's up to you.
Well, I've always got time for it. It's one of those of
some people don't. Some people are like, listen to a whole album. I don't got time for that shit.
Well, because
just play me the hits.
I am one for you know, I will always listen to stuff in order on the album and stuff as well. Because so if my missus has power of the radio in the car, and she'll put stuff on shuffle, and if the next song isn't what I expect it to be, it throws me off completely. Like there should be an X.
That. Like, just that's the nature of shuffle. Like sometimes Apple plays gives you like a playlist every Tuesday of like some of the songs you might like to hear. And sometimes it's just like the intro song, which is like 50 seconds. And it's like, I'd like to hear what the next song would have been, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have to add that. I'll just let it ride.
See, it's this bit of them that I like. It's the
earlier stuff. Interesting.
See, I like the end. I like the sort of shoegazy endy side of it.
Have you listened to much of Explosions in the Sky?
No.
Really? You should check them out. That's all I can say.
I shall look into them.
What is Earth is not a
something
cold, dark, lonely place, and I don't want to die, or something like that. It's post rock kind of like. I'll send you something later too. I'll have a bunch. I have to send you apparently.
I'm just gonna have an inbox full of wonderfulness.
I'll send you some stuff. Somehow.
It's the internet. It's easy enough to do.
You should be able to find that band on Spotify. That's a very, very well-known band. I am glad you like the sludge track, because I figured Metal Minds would converge on this one.
Yeah,
this is just a random ass find that. Yeah.
That's some of the best stuff. Is like weird and wonderful and random. Because let's see. So sort of stuff that's in my top 20 that I didn't know about before I sort of just came into him this year. Svalbard, Ghost Main, Daughters.
Daughters is a good. Oh, I'm glad you found Daughters this year. They're so good.
Just like, all these things are wonderful. You know, it's like I've got Wanama in there who I wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for finding stuff for Abstract Japan.
I just love this cover album too. The album art.
This is amazing.
It kind of reminds me a little of Vector, but the vocals will be a little different than that. I don't know. I just like the pace of these three songs together. You got like a very J-pop like song that gets a little heavy towards the end, and then you have this very like heavy but dreamlike one, and then you get to this one.
Yeah. See, this is definitely one that if they ever come anywhere near me, I'm definitely seeing these live.
Yeah, I need to check them out live. It's one of my favorite surprises this year.
Because it's equal parts doomy, so it's got that sort of Orange Goblin, Corrosion of Conformity vibe.
Exactly.
But then it's also got like just fucking brutal blast beats and sort of Behemoth-y
like
style death
thrash metal like mentality. You should check out Vector if you haven't heard of them. It's not quite screamo, but it is like this same kind of music kind of sense. Not so like sludge doom metal. Definitely more thrash and fast, but the themes and the feeling is kind of the same.
It's got, even though it is thrashy and quick, sort of with blast beats, so it's got that sort of deathcore sort of vibe going. The riffs are very stoner. They're very sludgy stoner riffs, which work
very much
so well.
I feel Adam would love this if he hasn't, if he doesn't know about it already.
This is my shit.
Yeah, I just love how fast and furious this song gets in like that kind of doom metal sludge, as proposed to their name. It just it has volumes to it,
and then it goes all death metal with the blast beats.
What are you doing, Papa? You saying hi? Okay, goodbye. What are you doing? Boop. Boosh.
And we are back for the last part of the show. It leaves me to thank you both for coming on again. for a second week in a row. Giggy-san, promote thyself and share thy wares.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Jiggy-san, Giggyysan. I am occasionally on, most of the time, sometimes, the Abstract Japan podcast with this dude to my right. And yeah, I sometimes also guest host on, and I'll be doing an end of the year podcast soon with my friend Chase at Gamers on the Go. You can find that at gogtpodcast.com, tumblr.com, and abstractjapan.com for the Abstract Japan podcast. I'm sure he'll tell you more about that in a second.
And Tyler, you know what you need to do? Share with the world why you are my muse. And
it's all good. I'm on Tyler Abstract. That's about it.
Tylabs.
Can't we tell the mulled wine is kicking in?
Yep. But listen to the previous episode. I'm gonna put all these on my feed as well. So, family. If you don't know, you know.
You know now.
you all should know by now.
Yeah, you should.
The fact that it is thanks to Tyler that is the reason why I have this show, because he was the one that went, let's do this.
No, it was meant to be here right now.
So you are closing the show with Polypia.
Yes.
And Ya.
Yes.
And Kumaso and some kanji that I have no idea.
Komuso, and the kanji translates to, I pulled it up on their Bandcamp page, Street of Shame.
Ooh.
So yeah, this first track, Polyphia, Tyler, you might recognize that, the Lit single they came out with last year. That was very kind of chiptune inspired, like just a very math rocky.
True.
This falls in the same math rock kind of thing. They they came out with this new album, that New Levels, New Devils, which just is math rock after math rock. Just
young budding.
They have a lot of energy, man. Yeah, it's really good.
Pretty much young budding math rock.
Yeah. This might curtail my top 10 albums of the year, because like Giraffes, that I played that in my last episode I was here. Memory Lane, that is definitely in my top 10 albums, as with U Drive. I think that might be my favorite still of this year. But these two bands that I did been following, like this one I've been following for all. This next one, Komuso, which we played on your last episode of Abstract Japan. Found out from someone I follow on Twitter, Nina from Dig Boston, clued me in on this one just from following her. And yeah, this is just like a nice post-hardcore kind of just aggression kind of rock, and I just totally dig it. And yeah, they came out with a couple EPs this year. So yeah, it's good. It's so good.
But yeah, no, obviously the first one, the Polymer one, I like this. This is very sort of warming and flowy, and it's just like, ooh, instrumental. It's nice.
Good bass lines.
Yeah,
cool album cover. I like it.
Big Tiger.
Yeah, it's like, I'm definitely going to check out more of these, because I don't know whether this is what all their stuff is, if it's all sort of instrumental and funky, or whether
there's some vocals on a few tracks, but yeah, it's mostly instrumental math rock kind of focused stuff. But if you dig this, yeah, definitely check out the rest of their album.
Yeah, definitely going to do that. And the Kamuso one is also really, really cool. I know it's part of a little mini EP, so I'm definitely going to
they had like 2 releases this year. I bought both. I've been listening to them constantly now since finding them, and it's so good. I hope they come over here in the US or elsewhere, and I'm going to be following them for a while now. I love it.
So we are, as I said, finishing with Polypia and Kamuso. I have to thank you both very much for joining us last week and this week. Very much looking forward to the point of where we will get to Abstract Japan 200 and the mass joining, and you two will both be back again very soon. So as we missed doing it on the last one, I think, Tyler, we need a certain outro that is always on yours. I think we need to tell everyone to stay free.
Oh, sounds good. I know. Shall we? Shall we?
Yes,
We shall. We shall.
Stay free.